watch BBC News live wherever you are. Download the BBC News app.
Be ready. Change can happen in an instant. Check on the BBC Weather app.
Hello, I'm Lewis Vaughan-Jones. You're watching The Context on BBC News.
We have some of the highest trained military in the world here in the UK, and Daniel Khalif was trained by the UK military. He will be a resourceful individual, and that's important for us to remember when we're trying to find him.
I'm sure one of the things that we're looking at is how Wandsworth has been left so depleted of staff, and I hope it just doesn't focus on pointing the finger at a prison officer or prison officers.
The longer it goes on, if for the next 72 hours, week or so, we haven't found him, then it would tend to suggest this was planned and orchestrated, and there may have been, some collusion.
Here in the UK, we have new pictures of the search for the terror suspect who escaped from prison. Still no sighting of the man himself, but this is the van that he's thought to have escaped from being searched by police. We'll bring you the latest. Also on the programme, world leaders will start heading to India for the G20 summit this weekend. We'll see what they'll be talking about and how India will present itself on the international stage. In China, exports are down again. We'll look at what that means for the rest of the world. And to discuss all this, I'll be joined by the panel. Andrew Fisher, former Director of Policy for the Labour Party here in the UK, and then leader Jeremy Corbyn. And in the US, Brian Lanza, former Deputy Communications Director of Trump Campaign. Let's talk about the G20, though, because we are expecting US President Joe Biden soon to be jumping on a plane, heading to India for that G20 summit. G20, of course, group of 20 wealthy countries. They get together, they try and reach agreements on big economic and political issues of the day. Ukraine has dominated previous meetings. The hope from the Indian perspective is they shift the agenda onto things that are slightly less controversial, things like sustainable development, and of course the role of India itself. Well, just a little earlier I spoke to Emily Harding from the Centre for Strategic